Okay, so just want to make it's another video. I feel a bit articulate at the minute, and this is about the challenges in deciding and carrying out the decision to stop being there for someone you have been there for a long time. I think it's something that a lot of people face and struggle with and come to different conclusions about. So again, in my case, it's about my mother, and yeah, and a couple of years ago, I kind of made the decision to stop using my energy to be supportive of her in terms of, because I felt I was reaching a double standard within myself of I wasn't accepting her to a level and her behaviour to a level that was contradictory to my own sense of integrity, and that was causing a lot of confusion for me. So that's that, but it could be many different things. But it is a very hard decision. I think if you're a natural healer person, or if you're the kind of person who people say you're a natural healer, or you're like, people just know that you're quite, I don't know, always quite quiet and supportive of others. So for me, like, the main way I work, the main things I pin my sense of self on is my ability to always make connections between things. So I'm a Gemini, if that means anything, but like to make mental connections or emotional connections, to adapt, to change. So that's what I kind of feel I am, and another part of me is to always know how to cope with things. I always want to know how I can cope with something and what's possible. So I think and I think the basic thing is if you give up on someone, then you're not that loving person you think you are. You're someone who's given up. You're someone who's not seen the connections, who's not learnt how to cope with the situation. But the reasons I come to this decision is that it was warping the way I see myself. Because I wasn't getting support from my family, and I wasn't really seeing myself as other people saw me. I think, and especially is I'd come to tell myself that and not being honest with the support I need from others. So and another element of this is that the way our society works is that everyone is still very family oriented. You really can't expect a lot from people if they're not related to you. Okay. So, however destructive your family might be, and I know it's people who have a lot more destructive families than I do, there's no guarantee that anyone else will give a shit. And you have a lot of challenges to face in this life as a young person. And, and the story is the same if you need to leave a long-term partner, maybe, or even just move on from a friendship. It's not serving you, but then the challenge is to redefine yourself and regain confidence in who you are, and trying not to look back, but having enough confidence in yourself to keep trying to be constructive. And that's difficult, and my heart does go out to anyone who has to go through this. Just as a final comment, if you're trying to find solace in the fun note is that, people will judge you for this. My attempts in my early 20s to disconnect from my family situation were actually hampered by the judgment I got from my boyfriend at the time, that this is not a feminine thing to do, that if you're a good woman, you'll never do this. And that's something that really hurt me, and made me carry on with a situation that wasn't that helpful. But in the end, you just have to think on practical terms. The emotional and mental and physical energy of keeping up this connection is actually detracting from you developing as an adult in this world. And it's a world where you have to look after yourself, and it's stopping you from understanding who you are, because you have this flawed mirror thing going on. So, all the strength of character you gained by persisting in a difficult situation, you have to redirect that into just, rebuilding your life in a more kind of self-determined way.